I'm going to take you through the listing template options in the Real Estate Voice dashboard. It's the sort of thing you only need to set up once, but once you've done it, then all your listings will look uniform, and you can really tailor how you want the text to appear or the captions and the visual look. So down here, down the bottom in your user section, click these three dots and you'll see listing templates. Click on listing templates and it's going to take you to the listing template widget here. So the way that it works is across the top here, you'll see your listing types: sale, sold, rent, and rented. And down the side are the different social channels. So you can essentially set up a different template with different wording for each sale type for each channel. So each one can look different. So an example might be on Facebook, you want to use the square template, but on Instagram, you want to use a taller template because of their new grid structure. So you can see that that is a different template. So you literally just click on the social channel here that you want to edit, and then click on the listing type here that you want to edit as well. Now there's two sections to the template system here. There is the text, and this is essentially the caption that'll be put on your, when you share your listing, and there's images. And the images are essentially the template that goes over the top of your listing here with this, the information here, like for your agent information and for the property information for your branding. Now, just a word here, if it says the Real Estate Voice, that's actually going to get substituted out for your own brand, so don't worry about that. But if it's got an actual brand here, and we're in the Harcourts, we're in an account that's branded as Harcourts. In your account, it may be your own branding or your own network branding. We're just using this as an example. If it says Harcourts there, then that's like a static logo. So, but let's talk about the text first, because this is the wording that gets put on. Now, this is the default wording. So, when you go to share a listing, this is the text that will come up automatically for you. Of course, you can edit that text when you go before you share that listing. And also, if you're using automation, which we can talk about in another video, then this is the text that will be used for automation. And you can configure this the way you want this to sort of appear, or as your default before you edit it. So here is the field that you'll be using. This is a preview of what it's going to look like. So this is a bit of a preview of what it's going to look like, but over here is where you're working. So this is a text box and you put what you want in here. So here we've got just listed with this kind of information here. And of course you can put anything you like. So you might want to say a new listing, okay, and you can put in your name here, for example. Now, these are all the different fields that you can put in. So when you're typing up here, you can type static text, you can add emojis, but you can also add any of these custom fields. And to add these custom fields, you just click on them and they'll get inserted where you've got your cursor. So the information about the properties here, and then you've got the property description here, and then you've got the agent details. So you've got the primary agent and the secondary agent. So another listing, a new property by, and I can click contact name, and you can go back up here and you'll see it's put contact name. So new listing by John Smith. This, again, is just a preview, and this is going to be substituted with your name once you're in here. Once it gets, you use it to share a listing. Now, if you're setting this up for an office, these will be automatically populated based on the agent that has that listing. You can see we support dual agents. So if you've got two agents on that listing, both of those will be available. You don't have to use a dual agent listing template like this, but they are available if you want to use them. Emojis, you can just insert emojis if you want emojis. It's up to you. Some people like them, some people don't. It's completely up to you. Now, I just want to spend a bit of time talking about these here, these label fields, right? So what these are, and you can edit these, what's going to be substituted. So instead of saying sort of one bed, so if I just type bed in here, then that is essentially going to, this number is going to get substituted, but then it's going to say, for bed. But the problem by typing that straight in there as pure text, we don't know if there's any bedrooms. If it's a block of land that you've got, then it's going to have just zero bed, or it's just going to have the word bed because there are no beds, right? So to stop that from happening, you use these labels. And that way, the system will know that if there's no bedrooms, if there's zero bedrooms, it won't show the bed label, right? A better example is garages. So if you don't have any garages and you just had the garage field here, which is the number of garages, so 2 garage, and you had just garage written here, then it's going to have 0 garage. But the system knows not to show that 0, so it won't show it. So if you use garage label, it'll say, hey, are there any garages? Yes. Okay, I'll put that label, which is this little car icon. If there's no garages, it just won't show the label. So you don't get that sort of, that blank icon just sitting there. Now I've got icons here as these labels, so that you can see here that that's what it's going to look like when it's actually displayed. But you can edit this and put whatever you want in it. So here, you might want this car label, or you want actually put garages. And if I could spell it, that'd be great. Garages. That way, it will just put garages there rather than the icon. So you can change these labels the way you want them to be, and they'll only display if there are a corresponding number of garages, for example. So lots of different fields here, so you can get really creative with the way that you want your listing text to be, the captions. So, and remember, these are just examples, right? This is just an example of what this is here. These will get substituted when you select your listing to share with real values of your listing and your agents. You can edit multiple of these at once. You don't have to save them each time, but when you're finished, you can just click save and it'll give you a bit of an overview of what you've changed before you save it. So you can edit everything and then click save and it'll save it all at once rather than having to keep clicking save. So don't worry about clicking between here and swapping between different sort of networks or sale types, because it will save everything. You're not going to lose anything. One thing I will say is here, for example, the difference is that Instagram doesn't really, you can't click a link in Instagram. So you might not put the link in here. But the idea behind TREV when you're sharing your listings is actually send people back to your website. So you really do want to have a link on your Facebook, but you might not have the description because, again, you want a reason for people to come back to your website, because as soon as they're in your website, you control the conversation, right? You can tag them for remarketing. You can ask them for their details. You can offer a lead magnet, an appraisal, etc. So the idea really is you want to get people back to your website. There are a few restrictions. Google My Business, for example, won't let you put a telephone number in here. And it might sound strange, but the reason for that is that they've got like a little button that they want you to click, because then they can track how many people have clicked that, and then they can report to you, how many people have called you through your Google Business profile. So they prevent you from putting any kind of phone numbers in here because they want you to click that button. So just remember that. The system will tell you if you try and put a phone number in, the system's going to tell you anyway. All right, so that's the text side of things. Now we've got the image side of things. So this is the text that goes in the caption. Then we've got the images, and you can choose the image that you want for, once again, each sale type and each social network type. There's some filters here to help you narrow down what you want, because depending on your account, whether you're an independent or whether you're with a network, or how your system is set up, there may be lots or there might be just a couple. Just depends. But you can filter them out here by clicking on some of these, and it'll show you the type of listing templates that you've got available. And all you do really is literally just click this, and it'll show you that template, or it'll apply that template. So once again, you just go through the sales sold, rent and rented for each network type, and select the listing template that you want to be applied for each. So very straightforward. Most of the time, some of them have agent details. There's ones without agent details, because I know a lot of you, if you're doing rentals, you don't necessarily want, contact details or agent details on there. It's just a link for people to apply. So, depending on what you want, you can choose the right template for yourself. And again, there's some taller templates for Instagram, square ones for Facebook, although you can use the taller ones for Facebook anyway. So it's up to you how you configure it. We do offer a custom template pack. So if you want your own templates, then let us know and we'll create a pack of templates for you. It's really cost effective, and they'll be absolutely on brand. It's a really flexible templating system that we built, so it's always going to be on brand with your colors, your fonts, your logos. So just ask us if you want that. The other thing that we do, the last setting that I'll talk about here, is applying template to the first image only. This is a switch that you can enable so that this branding, this image, will only be applied to the first image rather than all images. But that's up to you, once again, whether you have that. The other thing is for Facebook only, we've got this default image count, so that Facebook has this sort of tiling effect. So if you choose more than one image, it'll tile it. Some people like to just choose 4. Some people just want 1. I just want that one branded image in the Facebook feed. 3 or 4 is good, because then you get that sort of hero image at the top with the 3 images down the bottom, or 2 or 3 images down the bottom. So that's also a good layout. But if you go to 10, it ends up with 6 all sort of jumbled up, and then it's got that plus number, which is fine. That's just what it looks like in the feed. As soon as you click onto it, it is a carousel anyway, but it's just how it appears in the feed, as opposed to Instagram, which is just always a carousel, and it's only going to show you that first image, which is often why for Instagram you'll just say apply the template to the first image only, and then you have that that nice branding on the feed, and then when you click in, you can see when you slide the carousel, you can see the rest of the images, and you don't need to necessarily put this template on each. Finally, if you don't want any images, you can literally just remove the image, and then it takes it off, as some people just like to just showcase the property rather than putting an image over the top. All you need to do is save that, and then essentially when you go to share next time, it's going to use these settings that you've set up here, or if you use automation, which we'll show you in another video, this is what it's going to use. So any questions, we've got a knowledge base, or you can email us here to help you set this up. All of your branding and some templates are already, the text templates are already applied when you first go into your system. So it's not like you have to set these up off the bat. There will be some templates already there and already applied for you, but obviously you can come in and tailor them as I've shown you to your liking here.